Welcome to our very tiny north-facing central London balcony. In this video I wanted to update you on what we have added to the balcony and what is still alive in the beginning of spring. We are a temperate oceanic climate, so that means we get cool winters and warm summers. And indeed, the winter has been particularly warm this year. We aren't due the last frost date for another week or so. However, it might be delayed, or it might just be a particularly warm, frostless winter. So despite being in a third floor flat, we do get lots of wildlife and visitors. We have one squirrel which just devours some of my plants. Some of them she leaves alone, but this one I managed to have for literally one day, and I don't have a before and after picture, but she just loved this flower and devoured it completely. But we also get little birds, as you can see here. The video quality isn't as great, but they love the bird feeder, which I'm really happy about. Here's another video of our squirrel friend. We can't have any pets, so we kind of trained her to come every morning and get a little treat. We give her some peanuts and she comes every morning. She's a little bit messy, but it's a nice thing to see in the morning. But anyway, back to the balcony garden. So I wanted to share with you what has overwintered and what we've added. In the hanging baskets I have the same flowers, so the ivy does great in any north-facing spot, and the cyclamens are perennials, so they'll come back again, but they're doing fine. I got myself a little hyacinth. The squirrels have nibbled on it, but it's still doing okay. They haven't eaten the whole of it, and it smells gorgeous. I got some heather because it seems the evergreens are doing well in the shade, but they do say that it needs full sun, so I might need to supplement the sunlight they get a little bit. But they do add a lovely bit of colour, especially now you can see the lovely white bulbs. I must admit I had never heard of rockfoils, but it said that they can tolerate some shade, and the foliage is so pretty, so I'm super excited to see how they do and when it flowers, what the flowers look like. Next to the rockfoils I have my little herb bed. This is doing great. Herbs seem to do well in lots of different climates. A lot of the stuff has overwintered well, but I've also added a few things such as the mint and sorrel, which you will see a close-up of in a second. So the oregano has overwintered. Then the mint seems to do well everywhere, so I'm sure it'll be fine even on my north-facing balcony. The rosemary has overwintered. Rosemary needs some sun, but it's doing alright. And then the sorrel, I'm surprised the squirrels haven't eaten the sorrel yet. Here you have more heather and another ivy. This ivy is a little bit different. I bought it locally and it's called Irish ivy. The leaves are a little bit different. I've also added a rhododendron. Apparently they do quite well in the shade, so we'll see how it does. I'm very hopeful. And then below you have the ferns that were one of the first things I got. I simply love the foliage of the ferns. It's called a bronze holly fern, and it's doing really great. It's actually producing new little sprouts. You'll see in a second. It's that time of year, spring, when the fern will produce little baby ferns. Unfortunately, I don't have a lens that can zoom in close enough, but I think you can still see how beautiful the fern looks when it's unfurling. The colours and the contrast between the new and old growth just amazes me in this evergreen. The £3 succulent is still going strong. It has a little bit of nibbles either by birds or slugs, but still surviving on the north-facing balcony. I actually never knew there were different types of ivy, so this one is the English ivy, I think, and then I also have a Irish ivy, which is a little bit different. The leaves are shaped a little bit differently and the colour is very different. Granted, I didn't give it enough water, so it was struggling a little bit. I think even though ivy can be problematic, when you're on a north-facing balcony, you're very limited in what you have, and as long as you contain it within a container, it adds a great bit of colour and it grows really fast, so it's a great plant to work with when you have nothing else to work with. Thank you so much for listening. If you have made it this far, I hope I have inspired you a little bit to see that there are things you can work with, even if you are on a very north-facing spot, or if your space is limited, just as mine. I think gardening is for everybody, and you can adapt it to where you are and your availability of space. Thanks so much. I hope you do subscribe and like the video. Take care. Bye bye.